Yo, dudes, B-Man from Verdicks. I'm here with Nick and Denny. We were just rapping about accepting radical reality, and I thought we would invite you guys into the conversation. Nick, you want to pick up where we left off?
Yeah. So basically, we were talking about accepting the reality that you're in rather than fighting against it, right? And the best analogy that I could come up with and saw was if you imagine Tetris. Hopefully, all of us have played Tetris. Maybe some of you young guys out there or girls might not have experienced it, but if you've ever played Tetris before, you can find yourself setting up like this masterful block of a slam dunk. As soon as you get that one straight piece, right, to drop, you've got like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines that you're going to slam dunk. And lo and behold, what always happens, right? You either get that little dumb Z thing, or you get the L with the little hook on the end, or you get the square block and you don't know where to put it, right? Like that is not what you want to do with life. You don't want to fight reality. The reality is whatever piece drops, we have to do and make the most of it with what we can. And that's what we have to do with life. If you are constantly fighting against the universe because you believe that you are in some sort of situation that you shouldn't be in, or that it's not fair, or for whatever reason, the first step in making a significant change is to accept that you're in the situation that you're in. Only after accepting it can you start to make meaningful change against it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm with you, at least on the first half of the definition, right? Accepting where you are in regard to personal life, maybe a work situation, how deep really are you, and what are the circumstances that led you here? And the difference, or what I would add to what you said, was to just add, what are you going to do about it?
Right.
If you're feeling bad about, having gained 30 pounds, what are you going to do about it? If you're feeling bad about an argument that you had with your wife and that keeps, persisting in your life, what are you going to do about it? And so accepting that in our lives, it can't all be good.
Right.
Harsh reality is that there's life and death, and there's peaks and valleys, and nobody ever guaranteed that things were going to be good the entire time. Right. Actually, the best part about life is, that it's double-ended, and that you get to live in the middle and experience a little bit of all of it. Yeah. So for me, it's really facing that reality and then deciding what can you influence and what are the 1 or 2 things that you can do to change it. Right. But you can't force people to change, and you really have to want to make it happen. There's also the possibility of accepting your reality and saying, well, I'm stuck here and I'm not going to do anything about it. And that's the negative side of all of this, is that once you do assess your reality, if it does look overwhelming, many people will stay there. Right. And I think many of us know people like that in our lives.
Right. And I think like a lot of people get lost in the word acceptance, right? Like you said, acceptance isn't saying like, well, this is it. This is the rest of my life. Like, no, it's simply saying, this is happening. This is my current situation. I accept it. I can't do anything about what happened to get me here. I can't do anything about the present moment. It's going to take work and perseverance to get me out of it. But I don't want to waste any more energy. I don't want to waste any more thoughts. I don't want to do anything about fighting against the fact that this is where I currently am. I accept that fact. Now, all of my energy is going to focus on changing it, meaningful change, getting out of it, whatever it is. A lot of people say that word acceptance and they just feel like they've rolled over and I've accepted it. This is my fate. I'm meant to be lonely. I'm meant to be alone. I'm meant to have a job that I don't like. I'm meant to be in debt for forever, right? Like, no, that accepting it just means that currently that is what you're in. And now realizing that you can make a change to get out of it.
Yeah, it's much better than living in denial. Think about that's the opposite, is the people who are in denial about their situation. Yeah. Those are the people who are in deep credit card debt and still go out and buy expensive wave runners and things like that.
It's funny because one of the things I wrote down was that it can also be the wrong thing. Like fighting to do the right thing. Sometimes you have to let it fall apart around you by allowing the wrong thing to happen to get your kind of like a reset or to, reassess your condition and your approach on it.
Sure.
I think about it like at work all the time. Of course, it always goes to work for me. Spend years arguing with their boss about how things should be done. At the end of the day, he's never going to change the way he is.
Right.
So I'm actually a lot more happier just saying, that's what you want? Okay. And now I go home and I'm a happier person.
Right.
I can control my reality outside of there. Something happening in my life, that I can actually control. That's what I need to focus on more.
And to wrap it up, I'll give you one more example. There's a great show on Netflix called The Alpinist, and it's about a climber named Marc-Andre Leclerc, who is a mountaineer, and he scales the most amazing cliffs and rock faces and ice walls that you could possibly imagine. And what happens is he realizes that he's above the rest of the world and he's dangling from these ice cliffs with just his fingernails. And he says, I just accept that that's where I am at the moment. My reality is that I'm exactly here, and all of that matters is what I do next. And so he's literally hanging from the scariest place on earth. But in his head, he's calm and collected because he realizes that he's present. He accepts the weight of his situation, and he realizes that complaining's not going to fix it, that going down isn't an option. The only thing for him to do is to take that next move. So if you could take that next move, make one step in the right direction, try to pull it back together, accept your reality, you're going to be better off. And definitely check out The Alpinist. And until next time, keep your shields up, right?
Shields up, boys and
Keep your
girls.
shields up.